Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today is Monday, which means it's time for an episode of Loadout, the series where you guys, the viewers, get to pick a gun and customization for me to use. The way you do this is you leave a comment down below, and I will pick one of the top voted comments for the next episode. Today's top comment comes from Han701. He says, the US-Vietnam War Ho Chi Minh Trail Tunnel Buster Loadout. 870 MCS with modified choke or full choke and flechette or buckshot only. 1911 no attachment, M18 Claymore, ammo box, M67 grenades. Some benefits, especially TDM, you can kill in close quarter combat situations easily since the A70 has such a high count on the number of pellets per shell. You can plant a Claymore in case anyone tries to stalk you. Try to play in Operation Locker for maximum benefit since the map is mostly tunnel-like, and also to make the environment similar with the exception of the snow mountain outside. And so here I am on Operation Locker. I do play some other maps during this video, but I got my Claymore down. I'm on some sort of ridiculous kill streak here, which is about to end. I don't know how many I got, but it seems pretty close to 20, and then I get a revive and continue on with it. As for the options that I was given with this loadout, I picked flechette mostly because I still don't trust buckshot. I know it has technically been updated so that the defensive perk doesn't have as big an effect on it, but I still just don't trust it. I don't know, it's like 90% of the things that are supposedly fixed in this game never really do get fixed, especially pertaining to things like the netcode, so I still don't trust buckshot. I'm going to be using flechette, and I'm pretty darn effective with flechette as it is anyway. So I slapped down a defensive Claymore here, which it actually pays off in a really funny way when I finally get taken out here. I'm like the only guy guarding this corner. My teammate gets taken out right here, and we finally get overwhelmed by somebody who got revived. Now watch as the enemy team rebolsters, and they come running over by my Claymore spot. Two guys get taken out by it. Now, I'll come back to Operation Locker in just a second. The reason why I didn't play it the whole time is simply because variety is a little bit more interesting, on top of which the Operation Locker servers tend to be 64 player only, and when that happens you really get uninteresting combat because everything sort of turns into choke points and stalemates. So ultimately I just had to play it on servers that were 48 or 32 player limits and then play Locker when it came around in the rotation. Now I really like the fact that this loadout has Claymores built into it because Claymores don't really get used as much as they did in Battlefield 3. They were quite annoying in BF3 because they didn't shoot out the little wires that they do in Battlefield 4, which makes them a lot easier to spot. So when you place Claymores in this game, you have to be a bit more tactical about it and try and place them just around corners so that players don't have a lot of time to sort of survey the area and be ready for them. Now thematically, I really like this loadout. I like the look of just how the guns are a little bit more stock. I even put the Phantom camo on the shotgun because it just looks like something that might have been custom painted back in Vietnam or something like that. It reminds me of the grenade launcher in Apocalypse Now that's sort of got this tiger stripe camo on it. I mean, obviously I'm playing in an urban environment, so it doesn't exactly fit in, but it still looks cool. I like using iron sights. I like not having lots of extra attachments like lasers and stuff like that. It just really does look like an old school 870. Now as for the damage of this shotgun, it certainly comes in at the top of the charts for shotguns in general. Bringing up the stats here from Synthic.com, you'll see that it does in fact have a very high pellet count of 12 pellets per shell, each of which can do a maximum of 12.5 damage, and at range it does 8.4 damage. That is, of course, with the flechette rounds versus the buckshot rounds. Now when you combine this with the full choke, which gives you a much tighter spread of pellets, you can do up to 150 damage provided that every single one of your pellets hits its target. The full choke gives you greater range also for a one-shot kill. And that of course is the advantage of using the pump action shotguns. Often you won't have time for a second shot, especially when you're going up against somebody who's got a high rate of fire assault rifle. An AEK will make quick work of you, so you usually don't get that second shot off. But if you can get those one-shot kills, then you are in a place that's very good. You have to stay close quarters, of course, for that. That's where Operation Locker really is one of the better maps for this loadout. But if you're playing on other maps, like you'll see here, I'm playing Flood Zone. I'm trying to stay indoors. I'm trying to keep it close quarters mostly, and that's going to allow me to get more of those one-shot kill situations. Even when I migrate to the rooftop in this clip here, you'll see that I'm still trying to set myself up for close quarter kills. I'm not going for long range. I'm not exposing myself by running out in the big wide open areas of the rooftop. I'm going to keep it next to all this cover in this sort of chaotic area where my class is really going to benefit much more than anybody else's class. Now because you have 8 rounds to fire off at any given time, that makes this class an excellent flanker, because when you get behind an enemy team with an assault rifle, sometimes you can get a good triple kill with one magazine. It's hard to get beyond that. Then you gotta reload. The reload is where things get a little bit tricky. With this, you can potentially get 8 kills, assuming you got tons of one-shot kills, but it's much easier to get 4 or 5 shots before you need to start reloading. And even when you do start reloading, because it's a pump action shotgun, you reload individual shells at a time, and you can interrupt that reload with some hip fire and oftentimes still get that one-shot kill even while you're hip firing. And as much as I do like running shotguns in Battlefield, I still think it's one of the weapons that's easiest to see just how bad the latency in Battlefield is. Cornering, quick peeking with shotguns is a very viable tactic. You're going to want to do it a lot. That's where you just quickly peek out from behind a corner, take a shot, and duck behind cover. Well, you often do that, you get back behind cover, and then you die again. So you're going to be seeing that a lot with shotguns. It's a little bit rage-inducing, and it's just unfortunate that this is one of the classes that really, I wouldn't say suffers most from the netcode, but makes the netcode issues most apparent. Now let's take a look at the flanking potential here. This is an excellent clip of getting behind the enemy, and you can see just how much damage I can do. I'm not even playing that well. My accuracy isn't that great, but get in behind those guys, make quick work of 3 people, and you'll notice that I'm reloading in between engagements, get a hip fire one shot right there. And again, I continue to push in behind here, and check that out, double kill, one shot. Not too bad for getting in behind the enemy flanks. This is all done in a matter of seconds. Had I had an assault rifle in that situation, I might have been able to get 3 kills, then had to switch to a pistol, gone up against a guy with an assault rifle with a pistol, probably lost that firefight. The enemy would have swarmed my position, and things just would have gotten messy at that point, but that doesn't happen with the 870. And now we're back again on lockers, and you can see just how devastating this weapon is in close quarters, and how many flanks I'm able to get off here and just really destroy people with this thing. I love the 870. I think it is honestly one of my favorite shotguns, especially with the full choke. Your kill range just improves so much more, provided that your accuracy is decent. Now, if you're not an accurate shot, I wouldn't recommend going with a full choke. If you're going to be doing a lot of hip fire in close quarters, it's probably not the best choice overall, but I do full-heartedly recommend this loadout, especially if you want something that looks a little bit more old school, a little less futuristic, but can still dish out the damage when necessary. That pretty much wraps it up for this episode of Loadout. Don't forget to leave your comments down below, letting me know what you would like me to run with for next week's episode, and I'll see you guys next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.